Welcome everyone to celebrate 16th Twin Cities World Refugee Day presented by CAPI USA. We are proud and honored to be a part of this special event. This event brings many different people from many backgrounds on a special day, and we are so honored to be a part of this very special event. There are about more than 30 million refugees are displaced globally, and half of them are under the age of 18. We are here to honor and celebrate because many are still displaced. Their families, their children, their young boys and girls. They're coming for dreams and aspirations and finding a new home. And we want to make sure that we don't forget that globally, there's so many refugees are still looking for a new home. When a refugee leaves their home, it's not going back. When we talk about home, it's a very emotional definition of home. You know, I came to this country 20 years ago, and in my heart, I resonate home where I was born. I resonate where I was brought up, my family, my community, the festivals and the values and the culture. After coming to Minnesota, this is my second home. And why this is my home? Because I'm finding my own community with diverse refugee immigrant communities. My children go to school, they have connections, they have families, they have friends, and that's how I'm building a new home. And in many cases, refugees cannot go back to their home country. It's all in the memories, it's all those stories. It's in the art, it's in the presentation. And we are here today to celebrate and honor World Refugee Day. And what we can do together with us and everyone who's watching this event, with our performers who are from the refugee community and they're great artists, they're going to share their artwork, their unspoken word stories, and much more. And I want everyone to enjoy this presentation and embrace Twin Cities World Refugee Day as a special event. I think it's very close to my heart because it's really hard to put ourselves where refugees are coming from, and they're coming to find a new home. Thank you very much for watching this event, and we are grateful to all our beautiful artists and performers, and our sponsors and partners and volunteers and CAPI staff. And hopefully in 2023, we will be doing an in-person event. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting Canada to be part of the 2022 Twin Cities World Refugee Day event. My name is Ariel Deluya, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as Canada's Consul General to Minnesota and 4 other states of the Upper Midwest. Canada has a proud history of providing protection to and helping resettle the world's most vulnerable groups. After the fall of Kabul in August 2021, Canada made a commitment to bring 40,000 vulnerable Afghans to safety. This commitment is driven by Canada's deep connection with Afghanistan, as well as our humanitarian and international obligations. Canadians across the country, including a growing Afghan diaspora, are supporting government efforts with an outpouring of goodwill, including volunteer offers, financial donations, employment opportunities, and help finding housing. This enthusiastic support is integral to our collective efforts. While we can acknowledge significant progress to date, we recognize a lot of work still lies ahead of us to bring Afghans and other refugee populations to safety in Canada. We are committed to working with the United States and our international partners as we strive toward a more just, inclusive, sustainable, and safe world, one that promotes human dignity and the rights of refugees. Please enjoy the following video from Canada's Department of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship. Thank you very much.
was she making?
Well, we don't have the exact name in English, but this is like rice, some meat, and then some. It takes a lot of salt and salt to cook not meat. It's like a berry.
Oh, that's so nice.
Nice.
How about you? You gotta wear one too.
Should we get?
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna put it on.
I love it. That's so pretty.
خودم محمد هاشم اسلامیار هستم، رئیس فامیل. خانم است سریا اسلامیار و آرون جان بچه‌م است، هارون اسلامیار. سنم جان دخترم است، سنم اسلامیار و نیلاب جان اسلامیار دختر خردم. والا سفر از افغانستان تا امریکا یک ذره پرچالش و پرجنجال خوب بود. طبعا سقوط دولت پیشین و آمدن طالبان بعد مشکلات بسیار زیاد در میدان هوایی کابل و در دروازهای کابل در همه جای مشکلات زیاد داشت. دیگه از ما 3 تا طفلم که هارون جان، سنم جان و نیلاب جان اینا آمدن طرف میدان، ما به تعقیبشان می آمدیم. که تصادف در راه از ما پس و پیش شدیم و اولادا دانستند که به پدر و مادر ماندن کابل. یونیسف یار انتقال داد آورد به قطر که از قطر یار روان میکرده که شاید طرف امریکا می آمدن یا جای دیگه. وقتی که اینا با قطری ها به ارتباط شدن که از ما فامیل ما مانده در کابل که پدرم است مادرم است، باز وزارت خارجه قطر با وزارت خارجه امریکا من به تماس شدن، به تفاهم رسیدن که ما را از کابل خواستن آمدیم قطر، از قطر باز آمدیم طرف امریکا. اگرچه جنجالا زیادتر بود در راه، اینه که قصهش مفصل براتون کنم شاید وقت زیاد در بر بگیرم. من خلاص کوتاهش براتون گفتم.
بزرگترین مثلا مشکلاتی که شما روبرو شدید توی همین سفرتون چی بوده؟ مثلا شما گفتید که بعضی از چالش ها بودن، بزرگترینشان چی بودن؟
بزرگترینش یکی خو اولادا این طرف که آمدن طالبان و خودم تکلیف قلبی داشتم. یک حمله بسیار خطرناک در کابل هم سرم آمد. اولادا از ما دور بودن و ما از اولادا حوال نداشتیم یا از ما حوال نداشتن تا که به حساب تلفن ارتباط پیدا کردیم، از حال اول یکی دیگه جویا شدیم. چالش ها بسیار زیاد بود، نمیفهم کدام شما برات قصه کنم. چالش ها بسیار زیاد بود.
تعریف شما از خانه چیه؟ منظورشون از خانه معلوم براتون میگه خانه یک همین الان مثلا شما فیزیکی داخل یک خانه هستید و یکی دیگه به عنوان وطن. شما وطنی که مثلا خانه هستید داخلش بودید، تعریفتان از چی بوده؟ و حالا که آمدید وارد آمریکا بعد از این مثلا سفر تعریفتان از خانه تغییر کرده یا نه؟
خانه یک جایی است که ما میتونیم در آنجا خود راحت احساس کنیم و کشور آدم که است، کشور خود آدم بسیار یک جای خوب می باشه، تمام چیز راحت می باشه، برات آسایش می داشته باشی و دوری از وطن سخت است برای همگی و ما در اینجا کوشش میکنیم همین چند نفر که هستیم، چند تعداد با یک دیگه کار کنیم و سری یک سخت زندگی میکنیم و خوش باشیم با یک دیگه.
و بعد از این سفری که آمدی تعریفش توی ذهن تغییر کرده یا نه؟
بله یا چون همیشه وقت در یک کشور که زندگی میکنی باید آرام باشی، آسوده باشی. وقت ما از وطن دور هستیم صحیح است، یعنی خود در وطن خود همیشه وقت هر جای هر کس که باشه خود در وطن خود آرام احساس میکنه. مگم وقتی که ما در کابل بودیم خوب بود دیگه در کابل، یعنی مثلا حال که است طالبا اجازه نمیتن دخترها را به مکتب بره و حال ما خوش هستیم اینجا چون ما میتونیم به مکتب بریم، درس بخوانیم، تحصیل کنیم. تعریف جدید ما همی است که ما میتونیم به یک جای برسیم، درس بخوانیم، میتونیم با آرزوهای ما برسیم.
ما بسیار خوش هستم که امریکا آمدیم، بتونم تحصیل کنم، درس بخوانم. این فرصت فراهم نبود در کابل که یعنی ما همیشه وقت پدر در کابل میگفتم پدر میخوایم ژورنالیست شم. شاید شما رو بدانین که زیادتر ژورنالیست‌ها را در کابل از بین می‌بردن. بسیار جوانای ما را ما از دست دادیم و من همیشه وقت گریه میکنم به خاطر از اینکه من با روزهای خود نمیرسم. از وقتی که من اینجا آمدیم بسیار خوشحال هستم و احساس آرامش میکنم. واقعا بسیار خوش هستم که اون روز که طالبان آمده بود بسیار من وحشت زده شده بودم. اصلا به خود نبودم، نمیفهمیدم تا خانه ما چه رقم رسیدم و احساس خوشحالی می است که ما در کشور آمدیم که تحصیل کنم، درس بخوانم. دوری از وطن واقعا سخت است و حالا ما کوشش میکنیم زندگی را صفر شروع کردیم که بتانیم در اینجا آینده درخشان داشته باشیم و به جامعه نو آمدیم. بزرگترین آرزویم فعلا است که ما بخیر انگلیسی یاد بگیرم، زبانشان یاد بگیرم و بتانم که به خدمت به جامعه کنم، خدمت به مردم کنم. انشالله که یک خانم شم که دفاع از خانمای افغانم کنم و باعث سربلندی افغانارم باشم، باعث سربلندی این کشورم باشم و بر دو جامعه خدمت خود کنم و بخیر یک ژورنالیست بسیار مشهور شم. تشکر خاص از همه تان میکنم، از دولت قطر، از دولت امریکا، دیگه از دولت مینیسوتا، از همه تان سپاسگزار هستم.
ما از وطن دور هستیم دیگه، ما مجبور هستیم که ما بر خود خانه نو بسازیم، زندگی نو بسازیم، اولادای ما تحصیل خوب داشته باشه. ما از خاطر اولادای ما خوش هستیم که اولادای ما یک زندگی درخشان داشته باشه، تحصیل کنه، درس بخونه، در یک جای برسن. ما از دفتر که به نام چی هست؟ کپی هم خوش هستیم، چرا که در کمپ هم بودیم، از کمپ هم رزاستیم. خب مدا زندگی که حالا آمدیم راحت زندگی میکنیم، شکر هر چیز ما چی هست راحت هست دیگه.
کدام چیزی هست که شما میخواین مثلا مردم آمریکا کلا در مورد مهاجرین بدانه، هر خصوص مهاجرین افغان که شما بیشتر آشناییت دارین؟ اگه کسی میخواد جواب بده میتونین مایکش بدین.
مهاجرینی که آمدن از افغانستان یا از سومالیا یا فرض مثال از عراق، از هر جایی که آمدن، یا درد رنج زیاد را کشیدن. طبعا درد رنج زیاد کشیدن، از وطن بی وطن شدن. خانه و جای جایداد کاشانه خود همه خود اعلا کردن. گفتن ما جایی بریم که یک 4 روز زندگی آرامتر داشته باشیم. اطفال ما به آرامی به ذهن آرام برای درس بخونه، تحصیل کنه. ما همکاری مردم امریکا را در فراهمسازی تحصیلات اطفال ما، بچه ما، دختر ما خواهانیم که اونا همکاری بیشتر داشته باشند، توجه بیشتر داشته.
Thanks a lot for CAPI agency because of give home staff and all of for us, and we are go to school, and I have find some friends in the school, and in the school I have different students, Afghan students, Somali students, and different students study. And it's now I am happy because of I go to school and learn, study, and learn my lessons. And I wish in the future I got IT manager, and I wish one day go to college and continue my lessons. And my sister, me too, Sanam want to in the future journalist. Yep. And my sister Nilab, she want become in the future a good doctor, heart doctor. Yep. And we are now happy because of your go to school, study, and I work hard because of make my life. It's new house, it's new place for us. It's different place. Yes. And every day I hard working because of I making one good life in here. Yep.
از دفتر کپی، از راضیه جان ما بسیار تشکر میکنیم. ما خوش هستیم، بسیار حال فعلا آرام هستیم در زندگی خود. بسیار رنج و غم زحمت دیدیم، حالا از یا بسیار تشکری میکنیم.
Welcome to my home. Oh mon cher, quand tes pattes sont écoutées, ouais, c'est toujours la belle magne. La force respecte la puissance.
Hello, my name is Korma Agu Stockmeyer, and I am the CEO of AfroContigbo. That's African Contemporary Igbo. It's a dance and performing company out here. We also have classes for wellness and fitness. So if you're ever looking for us, you can look up AfroContigbo, AfroContigbo, and we have classes in Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, and just all over town. We pop up every now and then. At the Mall of America as well, connected with Ruva Afrique, we have classes out there. We started this company, I started the company in 2014, and then I had a few friends join me, and since 2015, it's been a group of us, and we've been dancing and performing and teaching classes all over the Twin Cities. Our goal is to spread the joy and passion of African music and African dance, just so that it becomes a lifestyle for everyone. Just like people love to play soccer every day, just like you like to cook every day. Same thing, we like to dance every day. Now, a little bit about where I'm from. I'm Nigerian, and I'm from the Southeast. I'm Igbo Kwenu. Some of the challenges to be an immigrant, in the Twin Cities as an artist, as an immigrant, is that one, we don't have a lot of people that have been there before us. A lot of the immigrants who come here, focus on working so hard. You have to be in a job that has guaranteed pay, guaranteed benefits. So COVID and the pandemic, I think, hit artists the hardest. So an artist who didn't have another job or full-time job, they probably went to $0, like literally. And now a lot of those artists also probably don't have family members here that support them because they're immigrants, right? They have family members back home. So maybe they could go home if they had zero income, but a lot of immigrants cannot go home for many reasons, right? So they're stuck here during the pandemic, no income, no loved ones, no access to health care to keep up with their, COVID vaccinations or anything like that. It was a really tough time, I think, for the immigrant community, and especially the artists. Definition of home is really where you feel loved the most, where you feel safe, and that kind of goes hand in hand with where there is family, or at least people that feel like family, because those are the people that love you regardless of, if you're beautiful or ugly, rich or poor, if you're having a bad attitude. As long as you can go somewhere and you feel loved and you feel safe, I feel like that is home, right? It would help to have the sun all the time, but doesn't really matter. So the dance that you're going to see is going to be a series of short stories, and one of it is mainly Igbo. So I'm Nigerian and I'm from the Igbo tribe, and the dance company is rooted in my Igbo roots and movements. So in everything you see today, you're going to see some of the Igbo dance moves. There are many stories that you can tell with dance. At AfroContigbo, we choose to tell the happy stories, stories of love, stories of a fertile ground, stories of vegetation, so we try to lean more towards the positive sides, because we know that there is pain and there is suffering, but we want to elevate people. And all of us have different stories that we want to tell. So we come together as a group and decide, what do we want to express with this piece? So you would see one that is a little bit stronger. It's not love, it's not happy. It's actually a bit of a war dance, but it's a victory war dance, right? And so you're gonna see that it's strong and it's powerful, but it's because we have just come out of a war, and we're excited. So the other one you're going to see, you'll see us we're going to be wearing red beads. Beads are very common in Nigeria, and the Igbo tribe that I'm from. They're usually red or pink, orange. They're coral beads, and we wear them just as a form of decoration. It's beauty, right? And then we might have like white dots on our faces as well, and just lots of stuff all over our bodies. And they're a little bit heavy, but we dance with those outfits. Again, just celebrating life, because there's always something to be grateful for. So we always lean towards that. So maybe when you watch the dance, you can spot which one is about war, which one is about joy and celebration.
Jeffrey, Luyanna, formateur.
Tout le monde est dansant de Kota en koto. Les enfants dansent de Kota en koto. Les mamans dansent de Kota en koto. Même le papa danse de Kota en koto.
Si c'est du boulevard, ma douce sanguin.
Attaquez! Répétez! Aïe 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 aïe.
La piqûre est piquée en pointure.
Coucou
DJ. DJ Philo.
On veut seulement danser. On veut seulement s'amuser. On veut seulement la paix. On veut seulement s'enjailler.
Erico Seri. Samuel était au fils.
Tout ça a créé, le mouvement ça a décidé. La Côte d'Ivoire a dansé, et tout le monde est apprécié. Ils ont voulu nous diviser, le couper décalé. On ne peut plus reculer, on a déjà gagné. Nous on veut seulement danser. On veut danser. Nous on veut seulement s'amuser. On veut danser. Nous on veut seulement la paix. On veut danser. Nous on veut seulement s'enjailler.
DJ PTK.
de Lausanne. Fabio Kachiga. Général Macadam. Puyol le Barcelonais.
Hello, my name is Ifrah Mansour and I am a multimedia artist. That is just a fancy way of saying that I like to create stories in as many genres as possible. Minneapolis and Minnesota is home. I've been here for a very long time, so this is definitely home away home. My family came from Somalia. I discovered the arts purely accidentally. I was in college to be a teacher, and I thought just my life was just gonna be fantastic being a teacher, and that was it. I got a job at a theater, and the job was to promote theater to the Somali community. I always tell people that I was really bad at promoting theater to my community. I just promote it to myself. I just saw these African American actors on stage like breathing life to stories, and I was like, I don't know if I want to teach, but I really want to do that. So that's how I caught the artist bug, as they say. What I love about the arts is the ability to see someone or to understand a community or an individual in a way you've never imagined before. I always think about the arts that I've seen that has completely opened my mind to a particular community. The arts, is literally an empathy generator. It just unveils, whatever veil, whatever stereotype that we put on individuals, and it just removes all of that crap, I say. My work deeply connects to the idea of homes and belonging. Because I feel like one of the things that has deeply shaped my life and that of my community is experiencing forced migration, becoming a refugee. Somalia has gone through this horrific war that has displaced thousands of people, including my family. One of the things I feel like I watched my own parents do and my own community do is to find a sense of belonging, to literally build a home in the midst of the most randomest states ever. My family in Somalia, I could have been raised a couple of blocks away from the Indian Ocean. I could have learned how to swim, but here we all are in Minnesota shoveling snow, and I just recently learned how to swim, actually. So I was just thinking about what forced migration does to people, and also the resilience that comes out of being put into this forced migration. The idea of home is such a universal need. What I love about one of my projects, my Aqal, is that it directly connects people to, again, what my ancestors did a long time ago, building a home with their own hands, but also what every refugee might be doing right now, which is literally building a home, finding a home in a new country. It might be literally on the deserts of a new country. It might be what we call, refugee camp. But I just find the idea of home is such a universal, it's a thing that might connect us deeply. I don't know where I heard this phrase from before, but it's the phrase of home is where you don't need to escape. And I don't understand it, I just feel like I feel it. That's what home is. I think when you truly feel that you belong, you have like a deep tethering or deep anchoring, whether it's a loved one is there, a sense of community is there, a sense of respect or a sense of justice is there. I've also heard the term, home is where love is. I think for individuals who have experienced forced migration, like our home needs to be elsewhere, right? My home is supposed to be Somalia, but I grew up here. Like America's more of a home for me right now because I grew up here. This is where I've had like my heart broken, this is where my immediate family lives. But I know in my dad's mind, like home is Somalia. and for even in my mind, home is Somalia. But I think here in America, I feel like there's all of these beautifully diverse individuals who cultivated this sense of belonging and anchoring here in America, of all places. We're all these bunch of randos, except the indigenous beings who, have allowed us or have given us the huge privilege to be here. Gratitude to them for being a stewardess to this, very traumatized land. I just find America to be bizarrely beautiful in that hodgepodge of communities, of individuals who are all from elsewhere, but we all want to make this place our home. We all want to make America that place that we don't feel we have to escape from, if that makes sense. Home is truly where love is. Today, I would love to show you how to make my favorite akal. This is a class, a workshop that I've started, and I've had the pleasure of teaching it to little kids as well as old folks, and just extending my interest and my learning of akal, which is a hut in Somali. This is the way that my ancestors eons ago made it when they were nomads, roaming in their lovely country of Somalia. I just want to share that. I just want to offer it to you how to make one of your own. At the beginning, I do the centering and intention setting. I would like all of us to close our eyes. I'd like us to imagine what we have, whether it's if we're blessed with family, if we're blessed with a beautiful home of our own making, if we're blessed with a community. I would love for you to imagine that very blessing that you have to others who don't have it. So today I want to dedicate to this akal making, to this hut making, to someone who needs a home right now. And maybe you can do the same as well. I just wanted to show you all the materials you'll need. Again, this is a workshop that I teach students, so there are steps that I can't show you right now, but you can definitely tune into my work on the internet, and you can come to my next workshop. But what you'll need is what I call the base, or this represents the earth. The base has a I made holes. There are 8. There are actually 6 holes. Today we're gonna cheat. Normally I use 4 arches. Today we're gonna use 6 arches. And then some scissors, just need be. And then good old pipe cleaners that you just cut in tiny pieces. I'm gonna use this pre-set up fabrics. I don't know if you can tell, but I wanted to have an akal, a hut that makes a little bit of a solidarity to what is happening to Ukrainians. So these colors are from their flag. It's the color. Their flag's color is yellow and just a sky blue, but this is the nearest color that I can find. I'd like to have a little bit of a light inside my akal, inside my home, given that it is a wish, a gratitude. So here's a light. This is optional. All right. What I do is that, again, there are steps that I won't be able to go through here, but what I make is just arches that are on the opposite. There are numbers that I pre-made or labeled. Again, I try to make the workshop accessible to kindergartners and as well as elders. What I love about this pattern is that the Somali hut has a unique arch patterning that is so similar to wigwam. So when I had the pleasure of making this hut, like in real life size, not adult sized, I had the pleasure of connecting a lot of beautiful indigenous folks. So with arches, you make the opposite arch. So now we have two arches. So yeah, isn't it beautiful that you could be from so far away, as you know, from another parts of the world, but here in America, you meet a community like the indigenous folks who build similarly like your culture. It further makes the case that we're all essentially cousins. Classes was when I've done it for individuals who have experienced homelessness here in Minnesota, which we have. Again, like the idea of home just touches on everyone. Whether it's someone who lost their home because of a fire or someone who lost a home because just our system or our world doesn't take care of vulnerable communities. What I loved is that for the intentions, for the individuals who had experienced homelessness, their intention was to go back in time and give themselves the homes they needed, which was just so powerful to me. And I just love these pipe cleaners that are just brightly yellow. It's gonna look really beautiful. Yeah. So this is where I do a little bit of pretend to be an architect or a home designer, and you want to make sure that you like how your dome is coming off or how your dome looks from the top. All right, close this as well. Yeah. I learned how to make the Somali hut. You can move what we don't need over here. All right. Like I said, the fabric was just a little difficult to navigate, so I just had to preset it. And now I do this little tweaking, and this is the finale. Your aqal is ready. Thank you so much for dreaming and making an art piece with me.
Hi everyone, my name is GY. I'm a Hmong local artist. I'm an upcoming artist. How I got involved with music was I have always been doing music ever since middle school up until high school. So I was in choir in middle school up until high school, and what I really love about music is I love R&B and hip hop. So that is what has brought me into music, and it has brought me up into the Hmong community as well, because I do all these collabs with a whole bunch of amazing Hmong artists such as Chanine, Surprise, a whole bunch of hidden artists as well, such as Swimming, Chinchilla, so I have been everywhere working with a lot of productions and mixing and masterings as well. What I hope people will walk away with after seeing my performance is that they would be wowed by my performance, just be impressed by my performance, because when I perform, I love to interact with the crowd. So I just hope that it gives them an impression of them being wowed by my performance and of how I act towards to them. Throughout my whole journey, I have always been doing a lot of covers with small artists. So that has been what has been leading me up into these collabs with bigger artists. So I have been doing small collabs onto bigger collabs with the uprising artists. The challenges that I face being a Hmong artist is I would say not being heard enough, universal. Since the Hmong community is so tiny, I feel like only us Hmong people, we hear each other and we listen to each other. So I would say that is maybe one of the challenges being a Hmong artist in the Twin Cities, is that our community is a little bit too tiny and our Hmong music is not heard. If the city embraces our music and uplifts our Hmong music, I feel like our music would be more heard. I would define home as a place that is somewhere warm, somewhere sweet, somewhere where I could be safe in, just a place where I could always come back to. Because a home is a place where you should always feel comfortable in.
I'll never make you cry, oh baby. If only you knew how much I loved you so. You're more you knew good that will not talk on your ijao. Cause you should have been my baby. I should have been yours. Your utao shi ijao clear to cool, oh baby. If we would've tried just maybe, you could have been my baby, and I would have been your baby. Chi amungela pakanyana chito pai tuyua jondo lua kalumbe lu sei yada chiling nu watya yo tsau ko shewa lu thau ka lun si thau ku kulu shetia yin chi pao wada chi thau kan chi ku san thau ko tha sa wa ko tu lu ya shi ko tu chi ke ku ko tu me le nu ya yo jo ku shi wa lu thau ko nyo ku isha ko tu me le nu ya yo jo dau tua ka yo ku tu pa
My name is Ricardo Levins Morales. I'm a visual artist living in Minneapolis. I come from the Western Mountains in Puerto Rico, in the coffee growing region. Well, I was one of those children who loved to draw. I spent a fair amount of time by myself, and drawing was I guess my equivalent of binge watching television shows. We didn't have TV, we didn't have anything that had a screen or a blinking light or that beeped. And so making pictures, telling the stories of adventures or pirates or whatever, I felt like was kind of my equivalent. After seeing my work, I guess, what I hope people walk away with will depend. I think of my art as being a form of medicine, and it's created to meet different needs. Certainly, one of the things that medicine is required for is the underlying inflammatory condition in our culture of hopelessness. So I hope that people will walk away feeling encouraged, more grounded, and perhaps more aware of their own and our collective history. My journey as an artist has always been to make art about what mattered to me. When I was 5 years old, that was chickens, because our neighbors' chickens would always be running across the land on our little farm. When I was 8, it was pirates, because 8-year-old boys, you know. And now it's resilience in the face of oppression. So there's never been a moment where I decided I'm going to tell stories that are political in nature or anything like that. It really comes from the root, from the DNA level. The things that matter deeply to me are the things that come out in my art. And while the specific stories that I tell through my art, or the feelings that I try to transmit, might vary in their particulars, underlying it's always the same heartbeat, and that's our capacity for resilience and healing in the faces of whatever challenges confront us. Art within immigrant communities can be found in a lot of nooks and crannies, right? It's really about where do the people in the community go. It's like thinking about where do animals go to find water, right? What are the locations? And it's not always in galleries and places of the so-called art world, right? So it might be in local shops, it might be in schools, it might be in community centers, certainly in local publications in the terms of illustration. But a lot of people create art that isn't widely shared. So word of mouth, looking for art is really like following the scent trails, right? Or saying, hey, who can create a birth announcement for me? Who can make a wedding invitation? And who made that beautiful poster or painting that's on your wall, right? And for me anyway, it's really a process of having one's ear to the ground and finding out where people who love art, where people who make use of art find the creators. It's kind of a cliche, but to me, home is where the heart is. I think it can mean a lot of different things. For me, I really grew up with a deeply embedded sense of home that's not only in Puerto Rico, not only in the mountains, but even on the specific piece of land that I was born onto, and that has always been my equivalent of a North Pole. Even like, the magnetic pole that our compasses orient to. So for me, it's always been that connection. So when I landed in Chicago as an 11-year-old young person, knowing that place still existed was a great comfort to me. And as soon as I had the ability to go back and visit and to maintain that connection. At the same time, I've lived in my adopted homeland of Minnesota for the major part of my life, right? And so tuning into this environment has been part of what, as necessity, has happened to me. And I imagine that for elephants who travel a particular route in their own environment, going to where the nuts are ripening in one part of the country, traveling to where the rainy season is creating wetlands, that the corridors of migration themselves become a form of home. So many of us have had to take our home with us, create a sense of home wherever we go. When I was a young person, I hitchhiked for thousands of miles, and even if I was sleeping in a field or under a bridge, how I set up my encampment, where I put my little stove, if I had one, is kind of replicating a home wherever you go. So we do what we can to create a sense of home and a sense of place, and most importantly, a sense of connection to other people, whether they're also migrants like us or whether the people with deeper roots in our place. So how do we create home when we're on the move or away from home? I think it's an organic process. I think that we live in relationship with places and we orient ourselves. We look around, we see, well, what is this new landscape? What is the social landscape? Where can I find and make some kind of connection? And I think that varies for all of us. There are people in the land where I live whose ancestors have been here for many generations, for hundreds, for even thousands of years, and others who are recent immigrants or were brought by force. And I think in all cases we reflect the nature that we're part of, so that species, people, everything has been on the move since the beginning of the world. That we're always moving into new territories. We're always building new relationships. There's such a thing as invasive species that take over and displace what was there. which is reflected in practices such as colonialism and conquest. But there's always been adaptations too. Always been species, always been people who move into new areas and create relationship and create new home. And for some people, it's always a question that is tentative. Who people displaced who have the intention of going home someday and try to maintain that relationship and create the conditions so that they can go home. Sometimes they will. Sometimes their children will. And sometimes they'll put down roots in a new place and their concept of home will go on to change from generation to generation.
My name is Nyttu Chongo. I am Mozambican. I'm from Mozambique. I was born in Mozambique. I've been living here in Minnesota for quite a couple of years, I think 6 years almost. And I don't call myself a musician. I'm just an enthusiast who grew up in the middle of a traditional instrument. So how have been my journey as an artist? As I said first, I don't feel myself as an artist. I feel that as an enthusiast who love instrument. But I can say my journey performing, touching this instrument have been very wonderful. Have been wealthy. I feel myself enriched. I feel like the purpose of having this instrument has been wonderful in the way that my music are touching people. If it was my purpose to be a messenger, I believe of doing what I'm doing, performing, playing this journey, the message is going there where my ancestors they give me this gift to perform. So I think it's amazing because I feel like the message of my ancestor has been delivered through me. So it's been amazing. It's wonderful. What I would like to see people feel after seeing me performing, I will be honest for everybody who will be watching and then seeing this perform. I would like to change not your life or your behavior, but I would like to make you feel different after listening. You can reflect as human being, as a soul, as whatever you feel you are. I would like to feel different, like change something, even as a little. You can smile more. You can say hello more often. You can feel like, yeah, we're all connected. We are the same people. We feel we see things differently, but we can feel things the same way. We want the same way. So I would like people to reflect about themselves and their community, their friends. Yeah, we can be more connected as a community. I can say feel Ubuntu. I think that is the best question I have. Home, we used to say home is where mom and dad are. And not having my mom and dad here, playing my instruments, I feel home myself. They transport me. It seems like they carry me and then they put me at home. I feel the fresh of the shade under the tree. I can hear the voice, the people speaking in my language, you know. So when I perform, honestly, everything's come bland in my face. All the time I play my music, I feel home. No matter which instrument I pick, I feel home. So my music is kind of therapy for myself. So when I play my music, I feel home. I see the street. I see my childhood. I see all this memory of my childhood. So it's an amazing word to pronounce. You can feel something changing in your mind, because home is where you feel love. Home is where you remember yourself. Home is where you connect to the ground you step on. Home is where you listen those loud laughing, the smell of that food. So home, it's a special place that it's hard to define it with words. Home is where you feel peace. Home is where you feel belonged. Like, okay, I belong to this place. I honor this place. I honor this moment. So home can be a moment of joy when you feel happy, when you feel joy, when you feel complete, when you feel fulfill yourself. You feel that little moment, that little second is your home. So home for me, I define home as where I have a genuine happiness, a genuine joy, without having to think twice, to feel like, you don't feel anxious, like you feel complete, you feel like, I don't know how to say it, how to spell in English, mas em casa é onde tu sentes pura vaidade da vida, onde tu sentes o cheiro do tempo, you know, where you feel the smell of the time, you know, that everything is just perfect, yeah, everything feels just perfect. So that is the home. During my life, the idea of home, they changed and then change each time, because when I was back home in Africa, I used to flee different moments because of the war. So I grew up in a place when the civil war started. I flee for another place, but when I get another place, I thought, oh yes, home. I get something fun, something new as a child, and then the war reached that place. I had to flee for another place, and then So it's like each time home is changing, and then I feel like home will never be just a wall or a backyard. Home is where the journey of the life takes you, where you feel like, yeah, this is another place that you feel home. Now I feel home in my house, you know what I mean? But home in back home is now just a memory, a good memory from home. So home is changing each time I reach another physical place. So when we want to call ourselves to go to play, we use Segovia to call. So each person has his own call. And then when I perform, I like to start from playing Segovia. That is the way that I can call my ancestral so they can come to play with me. So that I was calling them so they can join me in this moment. So I would like to start playing Spendani. I love this instrument, I can say. So she Penani, it's it's those instruments, it's quiet instruments, those instruments that when you wanna find yourself, you play for yourself. We doesn't join with another instrument. We don't play in ceremony. It's just to have find yourself, to meditate or to find yourself. So it's more relaxing. So I will be this now. I'll pass for the Mbira Zawadzim. I will be performing two of my songs that is in my albums called Nyttu Chongo, Lebanzua. So I will start with this song's called Plant Love, and stop making war, stop cutting the trees, because the nature will come back. The nature can generate itself, but as a human being, we don't have that power. So please, let's plant love, let's plant tree, let's stop fighting, let's stop killing each other. Now we'll be performing or playing Mbira Zawadzim. So I'll be playing a song that's in my CD called Nyttu Chongo, Libanzua. The title of the music is available on all digital platforms. So this says, son of Africa, go to school so you can change your fate.
Thank you.
نه یک جایی است که ما میتونیم در آنجا خود راحت احساس کنیم.
Playing my instrument, I feel home.
It's kind of a cliche, but to me, home is where the heart is.
Just a place where I could always come back to, because a home is a place where you should always feel comfortable in.
Definition of home is really where you feel loved the most, where you feel safe.
Home is where you don't need to escape.
Hello all, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. I'm honored to join you today to celebrate the rich culture, diversity, and resiliency of our refugee communities here in Minnesota. Home can mean so many things to all of us: safety, love, caring, joy, and family. All over the world, we continue to see millions of families fleeing desperate situations, looking for a safe place to call home. Governor Walz and I want Minnesota to continue to be a place where immigrants and refugees feel safe and respected so that they can lead healthy, fulfilled, and prosperous lives. To our immigrant and refugee communities, as our neighbors and friends, you form an essential part of the fabric of our state. You strengthen communities across the state as you rebuild your home and achieve your highest potential. Thank you to the many organizations, partners, and agencies that continue to work hard each and every day to support the immigrant and refugee communities who call Minnesota home. And thank you all for being here today. Miigwech.